Hello. Carlina's fast asleep, and and I'm a bit unprepared. So I thought I would just do a very quick mail chat and answer any questions from the chicken coop area, and we'll take it from there. She wasn't very well this morning. She didn't go out on the job. She was feeling a bit sick, and thinking. Thank you. I'm thinking maybe she's picked up a little something or other from being out and about. So she's okay, and when she's up, she's actually in good spirits. But I think we maybe let her recover and see how she's doing tomorrow. I'm going to turn this round because, quite frankly, I think the chickens are far more interesting than me. Can you see down at my feet? I've got all my little chicken buddies. Yeah, my grumpy chicken buddies. Oh, I'm going to need to go up closer to far away. There we go. So, it is, what day is it today? Tuesday. There we go this way. And this was our intern Jake's last day. He has been absolutely super. We've had, I think he actually, believe it or not, enjoyed his internship, and he had a fantastic time with all the animals, all the outreach visits, and we're sad to see him go. But tomorrow is his presentation day at school. So we are going to, Nick and I are going to go down, and as part of his presentation, he's supposed to take examples or exhibits from things that he did or used while he was on his internship. So we are taking him down to rabbits, because I think, as everybody knows, Jake was absolutely phenomenal with the animals, but the rabbits in particular, he has rabbits at home himself, so he is going to take our two rabbits as his exhibit. We're not sure whether or not he's allowed to have the rabbits in school, but he is channeling his inner Janine, and we're going to turn up with the rabbits, and if there's a problem, we'll just take them right away back. So that will be good fun, and that's at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We have been enjoying, well, I think he really enjoyed the baby goats, so I'm sure he'll come back just for a visit. And why is that chicken on the wrong side of the fence? Honestly. Right, come on guys, move. Right, silly Billy. Right, come on. Honestly. So, that's very sad, but great for Jake, because that means he is through his internship and will be moving on for summer vacation and then on to his future college, which is wonderful. We are doing really well with these goats. The goats are still on their 4 times a day feeding schedule, although we have actually upped their the amount of milk that they're drinking, because they're pretty voracious in their appetite. Now, everybody keeps saying to me, "Are you supposed to be doing this?" I'm following the instructions of the vet. Now, I'm not a goat expert, we all know that, but the vet is. So they're following the timings of the vet feedings. They're following, the reason they're on cow's milk is because that's what the vet had moved them on to. And they're now also on probiotics. Had a bit of an upset stomach. Still spirits, and they're working out really well, so they're very good fun. They're very loud goats. You can hear them from my house. When they start calling, all I can hear is "bah" all the way up at this house, so it's really quite funny. Tomorrow, I think is it tomorrow there's a job? I think there's a job tomorrow. I can't remember where. The job today, they turned up, and the people said, "Ooh, we meant to cancel We have a visit from a Japanese people who were doing something with umbrellas, and they said, do you want to stay? And when you've got all the dogs there and you've got people twirling umbrellas, it's probably not the most calm situation. So they said, no, it's okay, we'll come back another time. So they came home. So there was no numbers, but they did set out with good intentions, which is probably just as well, because Carleen wasn't able to go today because, as we've already discussed, she's not feeling great. And the barn is just ticking over nicely. The 2 horses are still outside by themselves. The donkeys, I moved Luigi and Arthur into the back to give the cows a bit of peace and quiet. I'm going to speak to Janine, because I think that maybe it would be good for Jamie and Elvis to have a little bit of time on Meredith. Not because that's where they'll stay long term, but if Janine's agreeable, I think what it would do for the moment is get them on really good grass and get them into a nice wee calm paddock, because I feel she needs a bit of coming out of her shell. And she's still so tiny, and the donkeys are, you know, even the donkeys with the best of intentions. I put Magnus in last night with them, thinking, you know, Magnus will be fine because he's such a sweetheart. Oh, Magnus's ears went back, the tail was swishing, and the feet were off the ground. I thought, no, let's not bother with this. So I'm wondering if that might be a nice move for Elvis and Jamie, just for a short period of time, and then we'll bring them back. As you know, we move people from Goldy's onto Meredith. It's a very different environment. It's green and grassy. Different sorts of animals, different sorts of. It's very quiet. It's very calm, because there's less traffic that goes through it. You know, people traffic. I mean, not car traffic. So that's something to consider, and I'm just throwing that out there in case in case anybody thinks we're whisking them away. Might not happen, but something to consider. The weather is going to change quite significantly overnight and into the next few days. So Michelle has brought home a nice bale of hay. No, straw, and we're going to make a straw bed for Ubi and Doobie down the hill, and they'll go into that in an attempt to keep them just that little bit warmer. Now, Milo and I keep calling him Melvin now. I've got real problems. They will go in, we'll make it for them, and there's a really large chance they won't touch it, because they have actually got a container with hay in it to the other side of the one that they use as a bed, and they just do not go near it. It's their personal preference, and so it's offered, but it's not accepted. Oh, and the other thing is Marvin and Milo were offered food today. And we were asked to try and get them onto green by the vet, but they're not that interested. But it was good, because Marvin in particular would take it into his mouth and then spit it out. They don't quite have that sort of like munchy crunchy chewing action quite yet, so we're going to offer it, and then if they accept and are, you know, happy to eat, that's it, just another progression and stage. This is like having babies, isn't it? That's then past a milestone. We should have a baby book for them. That's then past that milestone, and then they'll be onto grain, and it's medicated grain, and it's just something else. And at which point, hopefully, they've got free choice water and free choice hay, and they don't really take either. So they're still very much dependent on the milk from the bottles, which is fine, but we're just making sure that they have that we meet our development goals and we get there. So that's us up to date with our crazy goats, who are fantastic. The other goats are up in the paddock at the Deagle house. When Janine comes back, I think that what we're going to do is we will take the contents of the Deagle house out and rearrange the internal structure so that the goats can have access to there instead of going back down to Tanner's barn at night time. That will be a more permanent pasture for them at the moment. And it will allow them to, you know, they actually like that paddock. There's I was speaking with Janine today, and I said, you know, one of the things I said I was amazed at was that they're so super with this poison ivy, and I'm wondering if during the day what we should do is have like goats to go, like have one of these temporary fences and just give them an area to clear every day, because poison ivy is lethal to Janine in particular. She comes back covered with it, and it would be really great if, you know, it's fresh, it's natural, it's something that goats are supposed to eat. The white goats would never touch poison ivy. It's the most peculiar thing. It was like you would put them in an area and think, they'll clear the weeds. No, they certainly would not. They would be in a panic because they couldn't find their hay. So these goats, that was quite a revelation. I was quite excited to see that. So that's something that we might attempt with the goats to try and give us a little help with the whole poison ivy situation, because we're really good at growing that. Really good. And Mabel will not surprise you. She puts her feet on the trees and she goes and eats the poison ivy off the bark. So that's also very helpful. So that's something that we'll hopefully attempt. Now, what else? You're going to have to ask me questions because I'll just blabber about animals otherwise. Woody, as you know, has had a skin condition. He's always been slightly sickly. His coat is actually growing in. He's eating well. He has supplementary feeds. His coat is growing in, so I'm hoping that he's over the really rough part, and that he's just going to start turning the corner and looking much better. His demeanour's fine. I do pop him into a stall at night time, just so that he's got, you know, free access to hay, water, and he eats his dinner in there. So that it can be quite stressful eating your grain dinner, because there's other donkeys that, well, let's face it, Angus is not the most pleasant donkey to be eating around about, because he's lethal. So he gets peace and quiet in there. He overnights in his stall in the tanner's barn. He's got the 4 goats in there for company, and he emerges in the morning to a bright new day quite happy. So that's where he is at night time. And who else have we got kicking around on here? I've got a dog, Miss Juniper, my little small, very short German Shepherd looking dog, and she is so gentle with these chickens. It's really funny. She's just like, yep, here's my chickens. Oh, I've got to show you this little Silky. Hold on a sec. Look, you see the little chicken beside the black one that's standing up? She's having a snooze. Oh, no, she's not. Thank you. It was you did that. She was just sitting there having a little snooze. They are so sweet. I just love these chickens. Bartholomew. Oh, here's Fitzwilliam coming up. This little chicken is tiny, so this is one of my other roosters. And honest to goodness, he is tiny, but the noisiest boy. And he just goes round day and night, I might add, calling. What a stinker. There, I'll turn this back now. Okay, so I'm going to see if I've got any questions, which I'm hoping I have. Oh, and Janine is back. She'll be back late Wednesday night, so she'll be back on farm on Thursday. And she is in London at the moment and having a great time. What is that green thing? That green thing is called an igloo. There's 2 of them. And I use it as an incubation period if I've got chickens that are kind of having arguments, because they do have arguments. So I put them in there. There's an attached run, and they get a bit of private space to calm things down a bit. It's like my chicken sin bin, actually. Little stinkers. And the pollen at the moment is phenomenally awful. We are all coated, and everybody seems to be doing this. We're all going about our normal business, and then the next thing is somebody's coughing. Sounds like you're coughing a lung up, and it's just the pollen sort of like builds up at the back of your throat and then chokes you. You have to get rid of it. Oh, it's phenomenal. It is covering absolutely everything. I was trying to clean the feed room in the barn today, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give up for the moment because it's just pollen and I'm moving it from one side to the other. And then I turn round and it's all built back up again. It's a pest. Oh, there's Dee. How lovely to see you. I hope your operation went well. That's super. I was just wondering whether or not you would come today. Oh, Carleen has, she was unwell this morning. Nothing major, just feeling very nauseous and uncomfortable. So she was asleep when Nick and I went down just before mail chat, and we thought it was probably best just to leave her and sleep off whatever she's had. I'm just checking for questions. No, Janine is back tomorrow, late on Wednesday. And it's good she's coming on Wednesday because apparently there's a nor'easter coming in on Thursday and nobody wants to be landing on a plane in the middle of a nor'easter because I think it's rain and wind we're getting. No, Meredith actually will be good for the cows if they go. I mean, we might not move them, but it's good because then they come back, and it clears the space, you know, for other animals to move in and be on camera. And remember, we've got the goats, Hilda, the goats. Heather does still come to help out, but she's been very busy recently because she has her own business, obviously. But she does. And I think after the 23rd, we'll see more of Bella, which will be lovely. Not taking Wanda. There is not snow coming. You stop that. If there's snow coming, Janine will have an absolute fit. Don't tell her that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry, obviously, Dee, that you're in a lot of pain, but that's amazing that you were able to walk a little. Goodness. Mind you, I think now the thinking is to get, when you've had big operations like that, is to get you moving again, isn't it? Which I suppose is not that comfortable in the initial stages. So straw is the stalk of corn or barley, and it's very dry. It's not very nutritious. It is. It's quite coarse. But what it does is, because it's coarse and it doesn't bend very easily, is it traps air in between it, and that air heats up and it's used for horse bedding, animal bedding. We don't use it because it's very labour intensive and dusty to keep perfectly clean, and you tend to do a deeper bed with it. So it's a very, very deep bed. You have to fluff it up every day, take the wet patches out, the soiled patches out, and it takes forever. We use shavings because it suits our purposes, and in fact, straw beds are probably more. They're not particularly widely used any longer, probably because they're so labour intensive. Hay is a feed and it's from grasses like alfalfa, orchard grass, Timothy grass, and it's dried, it's softer, and it's far more nutritious. And if you want to get me going on hay, we can go into the hay blends, first cut, second cut, third cut, and what we use it for, and who can't have certain hays. All of our animals are fed first cut hay. When we have particularly underweight animals coming in, we substitute in a portion of alfalfa. We also sometimes, we have a horse on Meredith that eats second cut hay. That's Tenny. He is super spoiled. But that's what suits his needs to maintain his weight. And let's not go down the hay road, because I can sit and chat about hay all day. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Oh, they've actually already been debudded, the baby goats, that is, because that's what the person who initially had them chose to do. So they have been debudded. They should not grow horns, but I think you remember one of the white goats, it sort of used to grow a partial horn and then it would curl in the way. The difficulty, and we cannot take, and I think we've already had this discussion, we cannot take the horns away from the big goats, because they've got a growing core, and they just can't be. Look at this lot down here. This lot just make me giggle. You see them all the way down there. They're having the most super time. If I go down here too much, I'll lose my power. They are having a fantastic time. They all find a little spot that's obviously got good scratching in it, and then they all focus on it. So the big goats, now we can't do anything for them, so we're stuck with their horns and all the trouble they cause. Also, they will be neutered. They're too young to be neutered, so they will be banded and neutered. They've got their first set of vaccines coming up. They'll have rabies later, and then their second set of vaccines. So we're on that. They have been wormed, and they're on pro and prebiotics at the moment, so we're on schedule. Yes, well done, Roger. Different cuts of hay, 1, 2 and 3. Although the weather has been so peculiar, for the last 2 years Meredith has had first cut hay, a scant amount of second cut hay, so that's been quite unusual. It is amazing that you walked. Yes, we have actually got medicated grain. Thank you very much for the goats. So they have that. That's what we were trying to get into them today, and they'll eat of their own accord once they get a taste for it, and they're just not there at this precise moment. Tomorrow's visit is to hunt rehab. Thank you. We love going to hunt. Yeah, you are right about the different cuts of hay. You've been listening when I go off on my hay tangent. So Janine will be back. She'll be back here late Wednesday, all going well with flights, and then back in action on Thursday morning. I haven't heard from the people with the white goats, but the last communication was that they were doing extremely well. Oh, I don't know what the no actually sometime today is. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep up here, trying to keep up. So Wallace is feeling better, but he's got and this is a terrible thing, he's got a cracked rib. And the cracked rib wasn't from horse riding, it was from his other job. So he needs to heal that before he can get back on a horse, obviously. Oh my gosh. So what happened with this is, you know, I have a terrible memory with names. Apparently Marvin was actually called Melvin. And I heard it as Melvin. No, I heard it as Marvin because I'd never heard of the name Melvin before. And so I don't really know what to call him, actually, quite honestly. But he doesn't respond to his name anyway. I just call them all goaties and babies. And they respond to that just fine. So call them what you like. My plants are dying. It's because I haven't watered them. And I haven't watered them because I'm always very conscious of the fact that we're on a water bill. And for the last 4 days, I keep thinking, oh my gosh, it's so overcast. Look. It's going to rain, and it just hasn't rained, and I'm a bit annoyed about that. And the next rain I think is going to be Thursday, so I think I'm actually going to have to water them. That's why I should never be allowed plants, ever. It's a bit of a life sentence bringing plants anywhere near me. They keep saying, I'm really hoping that these plants actually make it into the ground this time. And I do. I love them. I love looking at them. I have great plans, and then I wander off because I get a bit confuddled and a bit confused. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah, see, there he goes. All day long. So, yeah, I'm going to go and try far better with plants. Poor things. Oh, it's as she was feeling very queasy this morning. I've got a funny feeling there's probably a bug going round. And this is one of the things that's quite difficult with Carleen going out to nursing homes, and even with people coming to visit Carleen, is that, you know, she's quite susceptible to anything that's going round, and her immune system is not phenomenal. So, yeah, that's one of these very difficult things. No, we do not have any cicadas yet. Have you got them down in the Cape, Beth? I think it's too cold for our cicadas to come out at the moment. We have lots of ticks. I took 5 crawling ticks off Arlo today, and they were the massive ticks. I think those are the dog ticks, but he's obviously had his head in something in the garden and came in sporting these blinking ticks. I will give Carleen your love. No, you can't have a camera in Meredith because it's somebody's home. But I will take videos of them if they go. They might not go. Yeah, Sophie loves feeding those goats. It's really funny. I actually have tried pellets for part of the bedding, and I actually quite like them because they're super. They're very, very absorbent. But there's so many, well, there's not a lot of us, but everybody uses shavings, and to start introducing something that has got a very different system in use for bedding is quite difficult. I quite like the shavings, not the shavings, the pellets. What happens with pellets is you open the bag, it's a plastic bag, and you open the bag with a big cross shape on it, pour some water in, and these pellets actually expand to sawdust. So I suppose it's like a sawdust bedding, and then you sprinkle through it some dry pellets, and the dry pellets, if the animal urinates it absorbs it, and then you get the spot and you can lift it out. So it is very good. It's also super if you're maintaining animals on cross ties, and they're in the barn aisle, and they decide that they're going to urinate. You can sprinkle them down and it absorbs all the urine, which is great when you're on a slatted floor and there is another level underneath that actually has people in it. So it's they very definitely serve a purpose, but they're quite a steep learning curve. Well, does Dolly Parton bring her horses down to Myrtle Beach? That's very nice. Must be them on vacation. Yeah, the price of hay is going up, but you know, it fluctuates every year, up, down, roundabout. The weight of the hay changes, so that changes the price as well. So yes, it's something we always have to keep an eye on it. Oh, it's not medicated hay, it's medicated feed. We don't the hay just comes in as straight out of the field, so it's medicated feed that we use for the goats. Am I growing any vegetables? No, I'm killing tomato plants at the moment though. No, tomato plants, I'm not sure they're going to make it. I shouldn't really admit that. That's not really vegetables, that's a fruit. But hey, yes, I'm growing them. I am growing herbs, and I'm killing everything apart from the mint, because it seems to have a will to live. That's because you can't plant it in the ground because it takes over, because it's so resilient. So the mint and I are having a fantastic time. Everything else is like, uh-oh. Okay. Yes, the people were actually working here, Susan, today, so I did double check that. They were upstairs working. Thank you very much for the reminder. I will show you the rabbits again. Well, the rain starts tomorrow. Okay, I could maybe get away with another day without watering. Yes. I think you are, Jean. I think you are. I think Carlene said yesterday that you could record Lynn. M&M don't need water. You're M&M. 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 The pellets do keep the moisture in one place, and they're super for that, yes. You're quite correct. Yes, but somebody would have to remember to water the planter boxes, Tiggy. And that wouldn't be me, you know that. Never get tomatoes here until after Memorial Day. Yeah, well, mine I don't think are even going to make it as far as that. Yes, that's me. Green thumb for mint only. Who are M&M? Oh, Milo and Marvin have water. It's in the green tub. Small round tub. They don't drink it, but I put it out anyway. And I think round about just after the lunchtime feeding, I gave Jake a clean tub with fresh water in it, and we swapped it over. So so that's where their water is. But they don't drink it. They do dunk shavings in it though, but that's about it, I'm afraid. M&M or the baby goats. I knew that. I was thinking, is that chocolate or peanut? Anyway, so yes, so they've got water, they've got hay, and they're not really facilitating themselves of either of them. And that's just something that will come when they get a little bit older. So, so that's us. And I don't think there are any more questions. Look at that. I've done all the questions, I think. And we've only cut out a few times. Sorry. So I'm going to go down and do barn chores now. I'm going to go and see if I can grab Nick to help me, because he just loves barn chores. He's actually very good, and he's far faster than I am. So I've stripped all the stalls this morning. I just need to put hay out and check the water. I cleaned all the tubs and the feed bowls and the water buckets today as well, so we're nice and fresh, and we like to do that about once a week if things aren't sometimes things stay really neat and tidy, because what we do is when we use feed bowls, we rinse them immediately so that they're rinsed clean and ready to go for the next day. But some of the animals, and I'm not naming Angus specifically, but yes I am, they take the handles of the tubs and then they wander off with them. And feed is really easy to clean off tubs until it's been sitting for 24 hours, at which point it's like concrete. But hey, we'll get there. So it was lovely seeing everybody, and we'll be back tomorrow, and I'm sure Carlene will be much better by then. Night night.